Hi guys, Dr. Twine Budu. I recorded these stretches for my friend, but I thought someone here would also benefit from them. These are stretches you can do when you're pregnant. In all trimesters, you can do these stretches. I try to look for the ones which are safe and did them. That is the first one, the bound angle or butterfly pose, which will help you to stretch your hips, legs, and increase hip mobility. The child's pose. Make sure you open up, create space for the belly, and let it relax you. Because this pose, you can use it as a relaxing pose. It's very relaxing. If your head can't reach the mat, you can use a blanket and rest on the blanket. The belly doesn't allow you to go down. Use this to relax. It calms your mind, stretches your spine, your hips, lower back, your knees and ankles, but can aggravate sore knees. The next one is the easy child pose bend. It stretches, lengthens the muscles on the side of the body, stretches the arms and hips, but move slowly to avoid overstretching. Remember, relaxing hormone in pregnancy the levels are increased, so don't overstretch. And if you can't put your elbow on the mat, it's okay. Just use your use your hands, or you can bend a little bit, but don't overstretch. The next one is the half pigeon pose, the modified half pigeon pose. The improves flexibility of the spine, stretches the ankles, the hips, the psoas, back and leg muscles, gently stretches the abdominal muscles. It can aggravate sciatica, can aggravate carpal tunnel syndrome. So those are contraindications. But if the belly allows you, you can rest on the forearms. If you have hip and knee injury, avoid this pose or adjust to where you're comfortable. The next one is the hero pose. The hero pose deeply stretches the knees and muscles around the knees, stretches thighs and ankles, but avoid this pose if you have stiff knees or knee injury. If you feel discomfort or your bum can't reach the mat, you can put a blanket below your thighs and rest on it. It gives you a very good stretch. The next one is a low lunge. These stretches are very good for you. They improve your mood, they strengthen your muscles, they improve on your emotional processing, they strengthen the pelvic floor, and they reduce anxiety. The low lunge, it strengthens your leg muscles, increases it stretches the chest, the abdomen, hips and legs, increases the space in the abdomen, especially if you raise your arms up, flexes the hip and the lower back. It can also help with sciatic pain. The contraindications: avoid if you have knee injury, place a blanket below the back knee for comfort. And The next one is the Marichi's pose, the variation of Marichi's pose. It stretches the back, the spine, the shoulders and hips, releases back pain, backache. Yeah. The normal Marichi's pose, we twist towards the folded knee, but this one you can see we are twisting to the opposite direction to open up space for the belly. It's a very good stretch. It gives you a good stretch and you have this hand for support. So take a few breaths there, and by breaths I mean breathe in and out. That's one breath. So when I say two, I mean in those are two breaths. And that next one that I'm doing right there is the seated straddle. The seated straddle stretches the hips, the pelvis, the lower back, relieves stress-related headaches, and especially when you lean down on the chair, yeah, you can use blocks, you can use the chair, but it is very relaxing when you do that. Contraindicated if knees, if you have, if your knees fail to reach the floor. Not contraindicated, sorry. So if your knees are not stretching enough and you're feeling discomfort, you can put blankets below your knees to make sure that you're you have enough comfort for you. Blankets, blocks, a pillow, etc, etc. The next one I'm doing right there is a tabletop pose. It stretches the wrist, the back, the hamstrings, tones the core muscles, especially when you pulse. That pulsing is very good. The glutes, the legs, and it balances and stabilizes the body. It's contraindicated if you have carpal tunnel syndrome. You can use the forearms to rest instead of the palms, and you can still do them. You can still do the pose. Yeah. Yeah. And the next one is the revolved head to knee pose. Revolved head to knee pose. It stretches the hips, the side waist, the shoulders, and the hamstrings, and it aids deeper breathing and relaxation. Stretches and releases tension through the back, especially when you raise your arm. It creates space in the belly and allows you to take deeper breaths. Very relaxing, by the way. Be careful not to compress the belly. If hips or knees are uncomfortable, use a cushion or a blanket. These stretches are supposed to be very comfortable. You don't need to stretch to do a very wide stretch at the beginning. You can do slowly, it will grow, and you'd give yourself a very good slow growth rather than just doing it once and then you injure yourself. So take your time, stretch one stretch at a go, you will reach there. And the next one, now these are the standing poses. I started with the sitting poses. We're going to the standing poses. This is the chair pose modified at the wall. It tones and strengthens, builds the leg muscles, releases tension through the back. It's very good. You can feel the quadriceps burning can aggravate knee injury. So if you have knee injury, avoid doing it. Stand up by holding on the walls to avoid losing balance. And the next one is dancer. You can modify this at the wall so that you don't lose your balance. Remember, mom, pregnancy, and center of gravity. There's a shift in the center of gravity. So make sure there's something to support the mom in case the mom loses balance. It stretches the quads, the feet, the ankles, and improves balance. If the mom feels dizzy, make sure there's something to help. That's the extended angle pose. Stretches and strengthens the legs, the knees, the hips, and stretches side, waist, and arms. It makes space for deeper breaths. So it is also a very relaxing pose. Keep the stance short for more comfort. Don't overstretch. Be careful not to compress the belly, by the way. And the next one is the goddess pose. The goddess pose stretches the hips, the legs, pelvis, and strengthens the legs and ankles. It prepares the body for labor. If you feel discomfort remaining in one pose, just twist from one side to another. It will give you some kind of relief. Then if you have knee issues, don't do this. And if you have hemorrhoids, also don't do, because it will aggravate them. So if you raise your arms, you can raise your arms, you can keep them at the center. It's okay. The next one is intense stretch with blocks. I didn't have blocks, but I had my buckets of blocks and decided to use those ones. Use something that is very stable and that won't make you fall. Make sure that you're very, very comfortable and you don't lose your balance. Stretches the legs and hamstrings, hips, side, waist, back, and strengthens the ankle and feet. Be careful not to compress the belly against the thigh in the later stages of pregnancy. So try to put the thigh on the side of the belly to avoid compressing, because it is very dangerous. Do for both sides and take breaths, same breaths for both sides. Just taking a deep breath. And the next one is the palm tree pose. The mountain pose. The mountain pose, it's so easy. So you use this pose to connect with yourself, arch a little bit backwards, think about your baby, connect with your baby, just relax in this move. Don't do it for so long to avoid feeling dizzy. And the next one is the palm tree pose. The palm tree pose stretches the arms, the wrists, the abdomen, side, waist, stretches muscles of the lower back, spine, and hips. Increases the space in the abdomen, allowing deeper breathing. Although it's contraindicated if you're feeling dizzy, and do not stand for so long. When bending to one side, be sure not to compress into the belly. Just relax in this pose. The next is standing forward fold. Once again, I'm using my blocks, my bucket of blocks, so it's okay to use your blocks. You can even use chairs, you can use anything that is stable that will enable you to have support. These bending moves are very good because they take away most of the weight, and it just, for once, you don't feel so much weight, so it relieves you, calms you. It's just very good, and it relieves stress-related headaches. Although it can aggravate sciatica, avoid, if you're experiencing high blood pressure, just be at the same level. Don't drop your head below the heart. If you're standing and you feel dizzy, just pause a little bit. The next one is the tree pose. Improves balance, stretches the legs, the knees, and the hips, and improves awareness and focus. Be near a wall or a chair, something to support you as you're doing this pose, to avoid losing balance and you don't have what to support you. Be very, very careful about losing your balance. You don't have to do all the way to the hip. You can stop right there at the knee, at the ankle. It is still very good stretch for you.